football with the man who you'll hear on the call with our friend Kevin Harlan. Westwood One does Monday Night Football. See him on the CBS television. He's a radio superstar. He does it all. The multi-talented Boomer Esiason, ladies.
Well, thank you for that very nice introduction. And I have to tell you, I have one of the best jobs in the world. Why?
Which one?
Well, the one I do on Monday Night Football, which affords me the ability to broadcast now my 15th Super Bowl, which has really been quite a run for me. And I've worked with some of the greats in the business, some of the giants in the business. And I got to tell you, nobody, and I mean nobody, holds a backseat to my beloved Kevin Harlan.
That's right.
He is just so much fun to work with. And I know you guys have him on the station here. He is so much fun to work with. So, I mean, just all over the place. And just, I can't even explain to you how he is in the booth with us. But I tell you what, it just made me feel so good about our job.
You have plenty of travels, but not like he does.
I know.
Play-by-play in NFL and NBA, which is hitting the road.
I don't know how he does the NBA. That thing bores me.
You ever talk? I'm not so sure that he would argue with you all the time.
Right.
You ever asked him about his travels and his love of the airport and security?
No, well, listen, he can get pretty aggravated pretty quickly, and you know this.
Yes.
And there's nothing worse than getting stuck in an airport overnight when you know that you can't get out and you got a game in 2 days and you need to go talk to the coaches and all that other stuff. But he is just such a professional, so overly prepared, and makes an analyst job like me. And I'm sure I speak for Greg Anthony, who works with on TNT. And also Solomon Wilcott's on CBS. I think all three of us will tell you that he is such a pleasure to work with.
Yeah, great guy. We would certainly
great
echo
teammate, really is.
Absolutely. Boomer Esiason is with us here in the program. You'll hear him on our broadcast of the Super Bowl, courtesy of our friends at Westwood One. What does it mean? You're a New Yorker. What does it mean having the Super Bowl here in New York?
Well, I'm happy. I'm kind of happy it's here, because when they first announced it, there was so much negativity attached to it. Everybody was worried about the weather, and the weather was always the story. And a couple of weeks ago, we had a major snowstorm here, and everybody was like, what happens if? Now, nobody loves a really good disaster on somebody else's account better than us or more than us New Yorkers. So when it's somebody else's problem, we love that. And we put it on the front page of the paper. We talk about it, how their life is screwed up and how our lives are so great. So we were kind of hoping that there would be some snow where the NFL would have a lot of splaining to do.
Right.
But for the most part, I think the city's handled it fine. The weather's been good.
Yeah.
It's kind of been like a winter.
It's been cold, but
it's probably like a winter Olympic Village kind of thing. And it sounds like that Sunday's going to be okay for Peyton. It sounds like he's going to be able to navigate the wind. It's going to be negligible. And it's going to be somewhere between probably 34 and 42 degrees.
We know that the league kisses New York's rear end, so it's different. But could you possibly imagine them taking it to other towns? Like Kansas City?
I can't.
No?
I really can't. I got to believe that while it's been a good experience thus far, I still think that it should be played in a place where you know the weather, or indoors, where you can control the climate and make sure that the two best teams on the field aren't negatively impacted by the elements. So let's think if this was a driving snowstorm or a sleeting snowstorm here this Sunday with 25-mile-an-hour winds. Who would that favor? That would favor Seattle, right? Because Denver likes to throw, and this is the greatest passing offense the NFL has ever seen. So that would be an unmitigated disaster if that would have been the case this Sunday, which it doesn't look like it's going to be.
We're talking to Boomer Esiason here in the program. What do you think of the two coaches? Two guys that have been – I'm not going to say you get fired in the NFL, you're a failure. A lot of times Andy Reid wasn't a failure in Philadelphia. Time to make a change.
Course, yeah.
But Pete Carroll and John Fox are guys that people kind of looked over. And
I know both of them very well.
Right.
And I know Pete a little bit differently than John because Pete was my head coach. I was his starting quarterback in 1994 as the Jets. Now, you talk about a disaster and a bad decision. The Jets decided to fire Pete after 1 year and hire Richie Kotite. That speaks for itself in terms of incompetence. But the fact of the matter is watching Pete grow on the sidelines of USC after his stint with the New England Patriots, I saw a guy that really – that was the perfect place for him. He was really touching all those young players, and he had so many great teams. He was a great recruiter. The moms loved him. The dads loved him. Everybody loved him. And that's the guy that I played for. That's the guy who I loved as a coach. And that's why he's perfect for Russell Wilson, because both of them have a great youthful exuberance. Both of them can play off of each other. And Pete has told me a million times that Russell Wilson is a guy that you would be proud to have as your son. And he's my quarterback. And this guy is going to be with me for many years. So he's going to be successful. He knows that. I think he's going to be a great Super Bowl coach, meaning that all week long he's having fun with his guys. I guarantee you he's doing something cut the tension, cut the edge, but then come Super Bowl Sunday morning, he'll have his guys really sharp. I guarantee you.
Everyone talks about Peyton Manning. I'm interested in your thoughts on Russell Wilson, because his ability to take care of the ball while still getting touchdowns through the air, and at 5'10" and a half, which is barefoot height, at the combine, you're not supposed to be able to do. Why does he make it work when everybody says
he has the
can't do it?
intangible, and the intangible is the one thing that you don't know whether a player has that until he actually gets on the NFL football field and it shows whether he can handle it or not. Russell lights up a room when he walks in. Usually that's a guy that's 6'6", got a big giant smile and walks in. You go, wow, what an athlete that guy looks like. But Russell has all of that in a much smaller package. And his attention to detail, his dedication to his craft, and even Pete told me, he goes, the first day he walked into our facility, I knew that was our guy. Because, they had Matt Flynn there, and they looked at the two personalities. And Matt's kind of a flatline guy, and he's not a real outward guy, and Russell Wilson is. And that's why it was easy for them to make the determination that Russell was going to be their quarterback of the future. Now, I thought he played great last year in the playoffs. He never really reached that level this year. He struggled a little bit, but he's the epitome of grinding it out. And now with Percy Harvin healthy, hopefully that could be his Michael Crabtree, as Michael Crabtree was to Colin Kaepernick.
You do need weapons.
You got to have your weapons, but the kid is great. Everybody loves him in Seattle, and hopefully he'll get his first Super Bowl title here.
Boomer, I know they're running you around, and you got to go to more guys, so I'll give you my final four. Four quickies. Just tell me the first thing. Yes, no's, one words, great.
Okay.
Like, dislike Maryland in the Big Ten.
I like it.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. To hell with you.
I like it.
I'm a Syracuse guy, so
That's all right.
I like Maryland in the ACC.
Did you like Syracuse in the Big East?
I did, but I want to be in the Big Con. I know what you're saying.
Right.
Same thing. Same thing. But Maryland fits.
Right.
They don't fit.
No, they don't. They fit in the Big Ten.
All right. I'll let that one go. Are you for or against two more playoff teams?
I'm for it.
Okay, me too. I think you need four more, to be honest with you. Pro Bowl, keep it or dump it?
Keep it.
And then finally, Alex Smith or Russell Wilson? Who would you rather have running your team?
That's a good question. I'm going to take Russell Wilson because of the future prospects. And I think at Alex, while he had a great year this year, I think he might have plateaued. I think the future and ceiling for Russell Wilson could be even greater.
Very good. Boomer, hey, great stuff. We appreciate it. Have a great call of the game.
My pleasure, guys. Thanks for having me on.